Hi, I'm Scott Morris, and this video is based on my book, Classical Guitar Complete from Basics to Bach, Volume 1. And normally what I do is I'll play a piece and then I'll use that piece of music to break down some specific technique or concept, whatever it might be. But one of the things that I think is really important to address, because I keep getting asked this question by my own students or when I go someplace to do a class, how do you warm up? What should I be practicing? Because one of the things I notice is a lot of students seem to spend all of their time practicing their pieces, practicing music, because that's fun. But the way you get really good is by spending a certain amount of time in each practice session, not only warming up properly so you don't hurt yourself when you play, but also refining your techniques. So the focus of this video is just that. So we're going to talk about warming up and also about how to get the most out of practicing those different technical exercises and areas. Now, a couple of things I'd just like to say before I start going through some of the exercises here is, one of the most important reasons to warm up before you play is so you don't hurt yourself. I think a lot of guitar players, because we're just moving our fingers, we don't really think about injury as being a serious issue. But the fact of the matter is actually it's these things that we use to pluck the strings are really fragile, and you kind of have to treat them the same way maybe an athlete might treat bigger muscle groups. Maybe you're not going to blow out your hamstring or your Achilles, but rupture a tendon or something in your hand and you're done. So it's really important to take this stuff seriously. So always warm up. If you like to play guitar, you'll be able to play for years and years and years, hopefully without any trouble, and hopefully get better at playing the guitar in the process. A couple other just quick little things before we get into the first bit here, which is arpeggios. It's really important to do these different exercises very slowly. Sometimes we're in a hurry, so we have this checklist. I've got to get through my arpeggios, I've got to get through my scales, I've got to get through this and that. And we kind of rush it. The thing is when you rush, you're not doing it right. So you need to spend time, you need to be patient, you need to focus. And I also think it's important to change up your exercises. If you've been playing Giuliani Opus 1 arpeggios for 25 years, you may not be paying as close attention to them as you did for the first year or two or three that you studied those. So the idea of changing up your exercises and not falling into some sort of routine where you get complacent. That happens to me all the time. I'll do an exercise a little too long, meaning for too many years, and I kind of forget what it's about. I'm just doing it to do it, and it ceases to be effective. Then I learn some new exercise and I get all this benefit out of it. So those are a couple of thoughts before we begin here. So how much time should one spend before you can safely start playing your concert rep? I'd say that depends. There's sort of like the ideal answer to that, and then there's the practical answer to that. Ideally, if you're a conservatory student or a guitar player who can dedicate a good chunk of time each day to playing, spending a couple hours on fundamentals, including scales, arpeggios, isn't unreasonable at all. If you look at Segovia's scales, you'll see that he suggests 2 hours just for scales. That's just for scales, so you're going to do all that other stuff as well. Who knows, 2 hours for scales, maybe that's excessive. But, I think for the 4 areas I'm going to focus on in this little series of warm-up videos, 2 hours, maybe you could get it down to an hour, is also possible. And just another thought, maybe alternating days. Maybe one day, scales and arpeggios, the next day, slurs and other techniques. So you don't cut short those things, but maybe just don't do them in full every single day. Just a couple of thoughts to, be practical there.